Hello, this is Tom from the Dreamcast Junkyard, and this is the very first look at a brand new Dreamcast game called 4x4 Jam. I've kept all the intro stuff in. You can see that my Dreamcast that I'm using now has got the old dead CMOS battery, and I've not actually been able to get around to changing it, but I wanted to keep that in anyway just so you can see that this is actually running on a Dreamcast. I'm using the Acura HDMI output device here. You can see on the screen there I've got the different inputs and outputs. I'm using an upscaler as well just to record this on an Elgato game capture, which has suddenly decided to let me record. Now this is a brand new game from Josh Prodigy, you just saw there. It's developed by Invictus, and it actually came out on the PSP and mobile devices a couple of years ago. You can get it on your iPhone and your Android device. But very soon you'll also be able to play it on your Dreamcast, as I am doing here. Okay, so I want to choose English because that's the language I speak. And you need to create yourself a little profile. So that's what I'll do now. T-O-M, that's how I spell my name, Tom. Comedy as well here, folks. Okay, so we'll move on. Auto-saving. I've got the VMU in it, does support the VMU. So you can see we've got options, quick race, career, options and profile. I'll just head into the options. You can see you can change things such as the viewing distance or the draw distance and the grass if you want that on or off. That's probably just a hangover from when it was an Android game. So what I'll do is I'll head into quick race mode and show you the range of tracks. You've got Alps, Red Rock, Sand Dunes, Autumn, Hawaii, Frozen, Desert and Green Fields. The game modes aren't all unlocked from the off. You have to unlock them in the career mode, which I will show you shortly. And initially all you've got available to you is the free roam mode and one car, which is this Beetle. And yeah, basically what you can do in the free roam mode is, as you would imagine, just free roam. So you can just drive around, and I'll show you what the game looks like, what the engine looks like, what the graphics look like right about now. So here we are in free roam. There's no actual objective, you just basically ride around and look at the scenery. The controls are, as you would expect, accelerate is on the right trigger, brake is on the left. You've got various different camera angles which you can choose from by pressing the Y button. So that's your external camera, and your cockpit, which is quite cool. And the HUD camera. Bumper camera. And one that's weirdly called helicopter camera, but isn't actually that much different to the standard external camera, as you can see. Okay, that's enough of that, just riding around doing nothing. Right, so the main career mode is where you'd probably be spending most of your time, and you do have quite a lot of different contests to enter. Initially they're all locked, as you can see here, and you do need to go through them in sequence. You also earn cash by competing in these different events, so there is quite a little bit of longevity in the game. And you will see, as you can see on the screen now, the price of the other trucks that you can unlock are quite, well, it's quite astronomical. You have to do quite a lot of races to earn enough money to actually unlock these extra vehicles. But I'll just show you a couple of different game modes. The first one is where you have to drive through the different gates, as signified by these plumes of smoke. It almost reminds me of Smuggler's Run, quite a bit. And yeah, you've got one other opponent. It's certainly in this game I'm playing now. And in other variants of this mode, you do have, you know, more than one adversary to play against. I mean, I'm doing quite well here, but it can be quite difficult depending on the difficulty setting, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward now to the end of this particular race, which I actually won. surprisingly. The first time I tried it, I didn't win. So what I'll do now is I'll show you a couple of the other types of game mode in the championship. And the next one is a straight race, just me versus an adversary. Again, some of the other races do have more than one opponent, and they can get quite intense, shall we say. So here we are in a nice frozen environment. Even though there's a marked out track, you don't actually have to stick to it. You can actually just barge through those barriers if you want, as my competitor is doing there, cheating bastard. So yeah, I mean, you can just basically make a beeline for the next marker. Weirdly, a lot of the game modes do actually just make use of this mechanic where you have to just get to the next checkpoint, whether that be on a dedicated course or an open plan kind of free-for-all mission. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, this game was initially available on the PSP and on Android and iOS devices. So because of that, the game doesn't look amazing. It's not up to the standard of something like Four Wheel Thunder, for example. But for a new game for the Dreamcast in 2017, we're used to things like 2D shmups and that kind of thing, puzzle games. To have a fully 3D game ported from not current gen but newer hardware is actually quite incredible. And I have to give full credit to Josh Prod and to Invictus Games for bringing this to the Dreamcast, because it's quite inspired, really. I mean, this could open up the door for many more ports from newer systems. There's so many different games on the PSP that could work on the Dreamcast. I'm not entirely sure which version this actually is. I don't know if it's the Android version or the PSP version, but either way, it's running on both of those different platforms. So that could potentially open the door for a lot more games, really. The mode you're seeing here is called Rally Mode, which is like more of a straight race. As you get further into the game, you do get races with more adversaries to race against. And they can be quite tough, to be honest. As you can see here, I'm battling against these two cars. But as you get further into the championship mode, it does get a little bit more difficult. And there are some really good battles where the cars are just kind of flying over the sand dunes in front of you. I mean, the PSP game got pretty good reviews when it came out, so I mean, this is virtually the same game, so for all intents and purposes, it's going to be just as good as that was. I hope you've enjoyed having a quick look at 4x4 Jam. It should be available for your Dreamcast in September 2017. I do apologise for the sound in this video, because I had to actually record the sound from using my iPhone, because the Acura doesn't output sound to the HDMI upscaler for some reason. But you can still hear what it sounds like. It sounds a lot better in person, and it plays really well. So keep an eye out for this one. It'll be coming soon for your Dreamcast.